The one belief that is holding everyone back, including yourself eventually, or maybe not, or maybe yes. The one belief because we are at a phase of our evolution where we never had as many options, as much social ladder to climb the steps. Somebody who is born poor can become rich. This had never happened before in the centuries ago, or like maybe 1 out of 1 million people. Now it is more and more of a common thing to become successful even when you start from scratch. So despite that, and despite all the free information and free knowledge out online, how is it possible that people still remain stuck for so long? Basically, they still overthink. Maybe it happens to you too sometimes. Still overthinking, should I do this? How should I really try that? Should I quit my job? Should I ask this person out? They still overthink and overthink and overthink, even though all the material, all the knowledge, all the methods to accomplish what they want to accomplish is available, and a lot of it is available for free. So the one belief I think I can evaluate that is definitely holding people back from all the people I coached, all the people I see struggling, it is there is something more I need to learn first. Basically, I need to study more, I need to learn more, I need to join this degree, I need to join this PhD, I need to buy a training, a $5,000 training to become certified in whatever. You don't need that much. In the beginning, yes, a little bit of theory is always very important to get you started. However, the big problem is that if you just remain in the headspace of what else do I have to learn before I can be ready, which is most people's headspace, also because we are scared of change. It is an evolutionary mechanism. We are scared that if we change something in our lives, what negative consequences might happen. It is something that happened in our brain long ago to prevent too much danger from arising in our lives. Today, however, those mechanisms are just getting us stuck and to stay where we are. So if you just remain non-stop in the what else do I need to learn before I can be ready, the mind is just acting on a principle of momentum. Like you can see here, if you have been rehearsing the same thing over and over again, at some point it becomes a habit, it becomes automated, and you don't think about it anymore. I used to think this was working only for good positive habits. No. It also works for negative habits, or when you have been getting yourself trapped in the mindset, in the headspace of what else do I need before I can be ready. You will just always look for the things that will never happen. Look for the one thing that you need before you can take action, which will basically never happen because your mind will always be scanning not for the evidence that you are ready, but for the evidence that you are not ready. Therefore, the reframing I noticed that was really effective is, for example, what is the first easiest step I can take right now? If there was just one easy, simple step, not something that cost $2,000, not something that cost $1 million, not something that you need a top-level coach to guide you. No, the first easiest step. And if you're really starting from scratch, probably it will be about reading books, watching videos, learning some theory. In the very, very beginning, it will obviously be about a bit of theory. However, as soon as possible, whenever you want to accomplish something important, start thinking in terms of simple actions instead of in what else do I need to theoretically learn. Because you learn from experiencing physically in the real world. You don't learn that much through books and theories. Even like in my courses, what I give is the strict minimum I know is only needed to get people to start using the material in their real life. If I was trying to overwhelm the people with everything I can possibly know about, people would just they would just procrastinate if I was giving too much. So when I just give in my courses small things that people can use right away, I know I'm going to help them propelling the momentum of the first action. Just the one first action. From that first action, notice which response you got. If it was in persuasion, if you're trying to sell things, or if you want to get a date or whatever, you start and you notice which response did I get. Obviously, in the beginning, it is bad, unless there is some beginner's luck, but usually it is bad. You craft the feedback. What did I get? How can I improve for next time? What is the next action I can take for next time? And you only need to start with very simple things. Nothing abnormal, like super difficult, challenging. Once in a while, eventually you can try to really challenge yourself. In the beginning, start small. Start very small with one extremely small thing. People who want, for example, to start their YouTube channel and they watch YouTubers who have millions of subscribers and they're like, oh, too much work, I will never do that. And the idea is, can you start by setting up the proper video environment? Not more than that. And writing your first video script. Not recording, not yet. Writing your first recording, putting up the space, the whatever you want to put behind or whatever, the first space to start a video. First action is no more than this. Setting up the space, writing the first script. Next week, if you notice it is valuable, start recording. Only one video in 1 month in the very beginning. Then 2 videos in 1 week eventually if you have felt comfortable, and you just scale step by step like that. When you take that approach, yes, it may seem like demoralizing in the beginning because, oh, it's going to go too slow. Guess what? People who want to start there, they fantasize about having a massive result and they never take action, or they take action once or twice. They fail, obviously, because they set the bar extremely high and then they never do anything anymore. So it is counterintuitive, but by starting way smaller, it may be less motivating because you will not anticipate massive results fast. However, you will much more easily build habits that will last. Another good question I have to reframe this problem of I don't feel ready yet, I'm not ready, I'm an imposter, I can't do that because I don't deserve it, or people will laugh at me, blah 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 blah. All of that is, if this thing was a series of 5 steps, what would be the first one? If there was only 5 steps before mastery, those 5 steps might take several years depending on how difficult is the thing you want to accomplish. But if it was a series of 5 books, you are writing 5 books, or you are discovering 5 books that are going to get you to mastery into the one area of life you want to develop your skills, or you want to get success. If this was a series of 5 books, what would be the first one about? And what is the first chapter? And can I write this chapter right now? And this chapter is my outline for the next 3 weeks of my life. I'm going to do this. Suddenly it starts to be way less daunting than when you think about only the massive result down the road that people just procrastinate on for hours and days and months and years because they don't feel ready, they think it is too difficult, or they fail one time and then they stop. One last question, very interesting, that I found for myself and that I used that really helped me down the road is, okay, from the perspective of somebody who has already done that. From the perspective of somebody who has accomplished what you want to accomplish. What is the one thing I am not seeing or not doing correctly right now? So from the perspective of a role model or anybody who has accomplished what you want to do, either somebody you know personally or somebody you have just seen on video or read books about or whatever, from the perspective of that person who really experienced the change you are after. From that perspective, what is it that you are doing wrong right now? What is it that you are not convinced enough about? What is it that you are not seeing right now in your direct environment that you could be using to your advantage, that you are not using eventually because you are trapped into I'm not ready yet? And of course you may not be ready yet for the massive results, but you're already ready for the simple things you can start right now. If you enjoy that type of content, you can check in the description. There is a special ebook, a special link to learn much more about that. You can download it, it is free, and I will see you in the next video.